Welcome to another episode of The Heart of the Matter. Today, I'd like to say that we're talking about longevity, but the subject we're really talking about is a healthy diet and lifestyle, which gives longevity. And hosting with me is Mrs. Omilola Oshikoya. And our guest today is Mrs. Monisola Olagbiyan.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much.
We're so happy and privileged to have you on the program.
Thank you so very much. I'm also excited to see you too.
Now, she is a diet and lifestyle coach.
That's correct.
And so, tell us what it is to be a diet and lifestyle coach.
Well, diet and lifestyle coach involves a lot of things. For instance, so many people out there, they're confused about what to do with their life and their lifestyle and their diet. So what do? I won't teach you anything that you don't know about. For instance, we're going to juice carrots today. You've been seeing carrot for so long, but do you know the natural therapy that you can get from carrots? Do you know what will happen to you with the different stages of carrot? The carrot juice, the boiled carrot, and you snacking on your carrot. What it could give to you. So that's just what we'll do. We'll do a little bit of teaching.
Now, that's the diet side. And so
yes.
What you're doing...
Your diet and your lifestyle, they go together.
Yeah.
They're married. You can't separate them. Because if you live well, and you think you live well, it has to involve your diet. And your diet is what goes into your mouth and comes out at the back. And your lifestyle is your entirety. So both of them are together. If you look at my card, I just said, God plus diet plus lifestyle. You live long.
So all three of them have to go together?
They have to go together. It's an holistic plan. You can't take one away from the other.
Will you advise somebody on what they should have for breakfast, what they should have for lunch,
yes,
what they should have for dinner, and
yes,
what they
please.
should have in between?
Yes, please. It's just that when I say that, it's not the conventional breakfast that we're used to. That's the education and the teaching we're going around telling people now. You know, the way we're brought up. Let me quickly say about heredity now. My great-grandfather had hypertension. My father had diabetes. Now I'm over 40, wherever. And that's the individual reporting his family history to me, you know. I'm 43 now. My doctor says I should slow down on certain things. It's a chain that is going on in your family. What we'll do as your coach is to say to you, why don't you disconnect from that chain by changing your own diet and your lifestyle? Because your great-grandfather's mom would have fed him in a certain way. Your father's mom also fed him in a certain way. Now, if you now change your own diet, taking yourself away from the regular ogi and akara in the morning, for instance. I'm a Yoruba girl, so in our homes, maybe it's ogi and akara, or your bread and egg, or your sandwich and your bucket of coffee. That's the way you were brought up. Okay. Now you're above 40. Remember, life begins at 40. That's what you have sown in the last 10 years. You are now reaping now. So that's why those sicknesses come.
I need to stop you on that one and just have you explain that again.
Which one?
Because you said you've sown in the last 40 years. In
yes.
other words, when you're 20,
yes,
and you can drink
get away with
10 bottles of Coke.
Oh, yes.
You could get away with it, but
yes.
you're not really getting away with it.
Because it's a seed.
It's coming back.
It will sure come back to you.
Okay.
So, and that's why the genes of the father and the mom reside in you. There's some that you cannot take away entirely, but there's some that you can actually influence because you have the right to choose. Especially when you follow Hippocrates, the father of medicine, that says to you, let your food be your medicine and your medicine your food. But we left that. If you go into history, Hippocrates did not start medicine the way we're practicing it now. It is when we now enter the laboratories to put them together. You know, everybody, we don't all have time now. You want to get everything done in less than 5 minutes, you are off it. And nature is not like that. There's a time for the seed time, the harvest time. Yes, sir. So now we've sown so much into our future unconsciously. That's when I can now turn to Hannah and say to her, sweetheart, please live a good life. So by the time you're 45 and going to 50, when menopause will show its face with the complications, you are free. Then she looks straight into my eyes and says, Auntie, what are you talking about? I'm still a young girl. And I say, no, you are not so young. Because your cells and your hormone, they also age. The newborn babe is healthy, fine. But if you give a child to someone that feeds a child in a certain way, and you give a child to another person that knows what to do. For instance, I know somebody, a 10-year-old girl going to be 11. She's never treated malaria in this generation because they know the right thing to do for that child. No cow milk. From the mom's breast, exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months without water. They go to plate and spoon for the cereal, not packaged cereal this time, the raw ogi, old school ogi. Then you go to the market, you buy your wheat, you blend it together just once, you boil it and make the cereal for the child. And you now put the coconut milk for the child, which is natural, organic.
That brings me to lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
Because, and this is where Omi will also come in. We live, for instance, a businessman or an executive,
yes, please,
sitting down in the office all day,
sedentary,
little or no
movement,
exercise, no
yes,
movement, so it shouldn't be a surprise if things go wrong.
It sure will go wrong.
Young people are out till 4, 5 a.m.
That's right.
They come home and then they have to go to work. What is the right lifestyle?
Wow. Okay, let me say this again. The illiterates of the 21st century are not those that cannot read or write. They're those that cannot learn. They're not ready to learn. They're not ready to unlearn and to relearn. Okay. So if your life is important to you, you will value it. You have to look for a way around it because you know it's a seed you're sowing. For instance, we say to yourself, when you have any object in your hand, before you put it in your mouth, the first question you need to ask yourself, will this thing promote my health? Will it damage my health? Will it leave me the way it has met me? Because you are a living being, and because we live in a world that is highly toxic, and because you know there are two things that causes sickness: toxicity in your system, then deficiency of some nutrients. So both of them, if you lack them, you'll be ill. So the quality of the things you are ingesting now will take away toxin from you. The quality of the things you are taking in from your fruits and your vegetables that are natural are the natural supplements that your body needs at every point in time. So when you are an executive or the young one, and you are conscious that in a day, my body will ask me at the end of the day what I have ingested, what I have kept in the warehouse to make it work the following day. So that means anytime I'm making a choice, I'll be ready to make the right choice. Quickly, let me say this, Pastor. Your body has a cycle. It has a clock. And there are people that are on duty, like your doctor, you're the consultant, the nurses and everything. A nurse will say, I'm going for morning duty, afternoon duty, and night duty. Your body also have those cells and those hormones that are on duty. 4 a.m. to 12 noon, elimination. That's why when you wake up in the morning, the first place you want to go to is the bathroom. You do the big job and the small one before you take a bath. Elimination, the dustbin of the body is full and it wants to throw it out. And between 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, that's the energy time you're up and doing. But we say take a break at that time. Because remember, the fuel in your body is the fuel is the water, the engine oil is your blood. And you need to keep repairing it unconsciously. So during the day, we say a bowl of salad is a must daily to keep fueling up your body. You know why your generator is working? Because there's fuel and engine oil. When there's no engine oil, or you're short of engine oil, it switches off itself. So when the body cannot carry on by itself, that's the time they rush us to the hospital. So by the time you realize that these are the people on duty, what am I supposed to give them at that time? You give it. And the digestion hormone will be there from 7 to 11. So everything you have kept in your mouth from 4 a.m. in the morning, assuming you wake at 4, by 7 to 11, there's a nurse that comes and says, thank you for all you've consumed during the day. It tries to separate them and put them to where they're supposed to be and goes to sleep. 11 p.m. in the night till 4 a.m. in the morning, the repair hormone comes because God has given you a self-healing body. When your fingernails were growing, you didn't know about it. Just like He gave you the fluid in your hair as a guide, the wax in your ears as a guide, the mucus in your nose as a guide. So that's the same way. The repair hormones will come in and say, excuse me, I'm here to repair you, be 11 o'clock. And where will it go to? The warehouse. So this individual that I want to repair today, what is there for me to use? In the morning, you had yam and egg. Or you had agege bread and then we're going for the popular one. Or you had sandwich or something. It's been cooked. your body is not awake at that time to digest anything. So your body will just look at it and smile at it and keep it a bit. No value for the repair hormone in the morning. In the afternoon, you had rice, beans, and the vegetable that was cooked about 4-6 weeks ago. Dead body lying in state in the mortuary at home. That because we did bulk cooking, you bring it out and you use a body bokoto shakiranda about to consume that in the afternoon. And in the night, because you don't eat so much, maybe they make small wheat for you. Or the amala with the ewedu. Unfortunately for us too, the ewedu is, you bought in bulk too. You know, we are trying to save money. You bought maybe 1,000 naira quantity. You cooked and dished it in the freezer. There is lying in state. By the time you bring out the ewedu, it's very dark. There's iron and the zinc that is natural, that nature has kept into it, is gone. So if you lived like that during the day, and the repair hormone gets into the warehouse, there's nothing there to use to repair you. While during the day, somebody in your office or out there did sneeze beside you or coughed beside you. You picked the infection. You brought it back home. Your hormone, the repair hormone is waiting because that's the duty he has to do. But unfortunately for that nurse, your hormone repair, he gets there in the morning, no vitamin C that is raw, no calcium. In the afternoon, it is also plastic, it's been overcooked. At night, even the ewedu that I'm supposed to get something from, that is what has happened to it. So he says, wow, what do I do with this? Let me just manage what I can do with this one. Then you wake up the following morning, pastor, glucose in the morning from the bread and the yam. You're already above 40, 45, 43. Afternoon rice, a little bit of beans. You carry it on. At night is amala, fufu, pounded yam and everything. You have 3 glucose for your body to comprehend. You now wake up tomorrow morning, you check your sugar level, it's up there because your body did not use it.
I'm enjoying this.
Thank you.
But we do have to go on a break. So viewers, stay tuned. We're talking about life longevity.
Watch your favorite Heart of the Matter episodes online at www.theheartofthematter.tv. Also, check out exciting behind-the-scenes photos. Leave your comments and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Heart of the Matter. We have with us Mrs. Monisola Olagbiyan. We're talking about longevity. I'm listening to you before the break. It was like looking in a magnifying glass. I was just thinking about my lifestyle and all the things that I thought I was okay with, right, you know, and clearly they're not right. Yes. Can you give us some ideas in terms of, because you know, you said something about ogi and akara. Yes. I thought ogi was very healthy, yes, you know, and even akara, you know. So can you give us some ideas for breakfast, that's right, lunch, yes, and dinner that we can easily find? Yes. You know, some of the products that we can find in the market. Mm-hmm. And things even like ewedu. I buy ewedu, and once we buy it, we cook it and we freeze it. I didn't even know there was, you know, it was not. You're losing all the nutrients. So can you just educate us? And yes, the other question is on supplements as well. Yes, I have that pencil down here too. But well, with what you've said now, you know, like I said, knowledge is power. Now you look at yourself, what have I been doing wrongly and what am I doing right? And the first thing I also want to educate you about is when we talk about breakfast is just you are breaking a fast. For instance, if you put something in your mouth at about maybe 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't take anything till 9 o'clock, you are fasting. What you put in at 9 o'clock, you have broken a fast. So the quality of what you're using at that time is what makes it good or bad. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? Some people's metabolism is really, really fast. By 45 minutes, they've digested it. But some, 1 hour is when it goes. And that's why out there, when the doctor gives you the prescription, he says, please take on empty stomach. Then still says some to you, take after food. Do you understand? So when you're talking about my ogi is very, very wonderful. But my ogi is not supposed to be taken in the morning, because your hormones that will digest your ogi properly for you is not awake. And a nurse that will do your digestion is not on duty. It is elimination that is happening at that time. That's why we say that it is our fluid we take at that time. So, but there's a saying that eat like a king exactly in the morning, I wanted to like a prince in the afternoon, like yes, a pauper in the evening. Yes, but if you also look at it now, this is 2014.
IT, we have iPads here. 20 years ago, it was not like this. So we have tried to upgrade concerning every other thing except our health and our lifestyle. And because you've been eating your breakfast like a king since, that's why you're getting into trouble. And that's why those sicknesses were there. That's still the seed we're sowing. That we're talking about.
Should we be doing?
So what we're saying now is that from the technology and the research that they've carried on, we realize that the body in the morning is not awake. For instance, you need your natural antibiotics that will now take me to my practicals on the table now. That please leave your system open and good before 12 so that you can function more. When you take a glass of my carrot juice, you have taken breakfast. If you Google carrots now, you see what nature has deposited in calcium in carrot for you in different quantities. So by the time you take that in, you have put something into your body. So you're no deficiency at that time, because in my carrot there's calcium, there's protein, there's magnesium, there's the natural glucose inside there. But you see, because we're used to breakfast of ogi and akara, when you finish taking ogi, your stomach is stretched out. You will say moyo, sorry, I'm a Yoruba girl, and I'll say moyo, then the next thing you belch, odebe. There's a relief, and your stomach is stretched out. But you see that ogi and akara to the body, all the nutrients are not presented to the body at that point in time. So every time you're putting things, we want it to be balanced, in quotes. And that's why we're now unlearning. Remember the illiterates of the 21st century. And in natural therapy, we don't also believe that there are incurable diseases. No. We say that there are no incurable diseases. There are only people that are incurable people. Those are not willing to change their diet and their lifestyle and get healed. For instance, a glass of carrot juice that you take 1 or 2 glasses every day, you're very rich in vitamin A. Your eyesight will be better off. So by the time you're 40 and above, you don't need your glasses. I'm well above 40. I don't wear glasses. I can still read well. There's still some that are younger. They say it's heredity. Yes. My father used glasses. My mom used glasses. So I didn't take their gene from there. And because of the lifestyle I've been living, I'm not using the glasses now. Then another thing I want to say to you is that by the time you have that carrot juice, your system is calm. Because when the body is looking for all those tiny, tiny nutrients and tiny bits, the carrot has given it to you. But because you are used to your stomach stretching at that time, psychologically you feel you are not satisfied. Does that make sense to anybody here? And those people that have those saggy tummy, they want to shrink it in. I say to you, when your stomach does not stretch in the morning, it doesn't stretch so much in the afternoon. It stretches only once a day. Gradually, it will start contrasting back. You go to the size of your stomach, because your stomach has a size.
So in the mornings we should have more.
What I'm saying in the morning now, because remember
fruit.
I said, let your food be your medicine and your medicine your food. So instead of you to now have these ailments now, I want you to have your antibodies, your immunity at turbo. So the first thing you do is take your garlic, which is your garlic therapy. That is antibacterial, antifungus. You could also Google it and see the advantage of the garlic in your system. So when you pick the infection, for instance, the malaria, the mosquito bites you, for you not to come down with malaria, your body is already immune against that infection. So the infection will come in actually, but the environment is coming into is not friendly. So your body will overcome it, so you don't come down with malaria. If it's also the flu, the catarrh that I mentioned the other time, there's the incubation time in your body of 14 days. If your immunity is very low, you pick it up. Maybe by 3 days, you feel like the back of your throat is itchy. But if you increase your vitamin C, the natural one, for instance, we say a glass of pineapple juice a day keeps the doctor away. No longer the apple. The apple has only the C as the main thing. My pineapple has bromelain enzyme, because I will juice my pineapple with this kind of extractor with the back of the pineapple, which is a liver cleanser. Those days, our moms in the village, they'll peel the back of the pineapple. They use it for a boiba. That's the remedy for malaria. So this extractor would bring the back for you. And the apple's coming now with the wax at the back to preserve it. So I will actually preach more of my pineapple than
What
that.
about grapefruit?
Awesome, sir. Awesome. But people run away from the grapefruits because it's a bit expensive. You know, the feel is expensive. It's awesome. So when you have your natural, let me get my garlic now, because some people will be wondering which one is garlic. This is a garlic, and we bless God for this because we have the best species all over the world. The Indians, the Nepalese, and the Chinese, they'll come here, take it away, bleach it, bring it back as supplement, take away the allicin, which is the odor. That's why you have the odorless garlic. But the allicin and the sulfur is what is therapeutic in it that God has kept into it. You're already squeezing your nose. It's usual. You know what you just do? Just peel this for everyday dose, because there's no infection, there's no inflammation. If there's an issue, for instance, if you're sneezing now, I say take 4 of this so that I can shoot up.
Eat it raw.
You just chop it into tiny pieces. Just clean this up. Chop it into tiny pieces. Put in your mouth with a glass of water. first thing in the morning, once you open your eyes in the morning, then you go into the bathroom to take a shower. You will smell, in quotes, because of the toxin that you have in the inside of you. My garlic will go in there to do environmental sanitation for you. You might smell for 2 weeks, I might do for 1 month, Pastor might do for maybe 6 weeks. It depends on the quantity of the toxin that we're carrying. That is when you stop oozing out. Then the next thing is my chlorophyll, which is my moringa. Everybody knows about this now, the seed and the powder. But out there, if you're listening to me, please, your seed is a detoxifier. It does not nourish your body, it detoxifies you. So you can't be cleaning your system all the time without nourishing it. So the seed is something you just take maybe once, twice in 6 months or a year. Not regularly like the way they advertise it. But this one is something that I take every day. It is full of chlorophyll and folate. You can also go on the line and Google your moringa and see that the vitamin C you have in this is times 6 of what you have in your orange. The calcium in this is times 6 of what you have in your milk from the cow. So you take this, it is not sweet actually. You know what is so sweet to your body, the body does not like it. Those ones that seems as if they are bitter, they're the ones that the body enjoys, you know. So you just take a spoon of this in there, put in here, put water into it halfway. It's going to float up because of this calcium and the protein that is there. So you just take a walk for 20 minutes, it will settle down. Come in and stir up and drink. Clean your cup and you're good to go. When you take your moringa in the morning, I can bet you won't remember you've not eaten. Do you know why? Because of the chlorophyll and the folate and because of the enzymes that is so rich and present in it that is natural. Your cells will not be agitated. You won't have that sense of hunger. The only thing you feel is the emptiness. You know, we're used to our stomach being full and stretched out. So once you don't have that feeling, it's a psychological thing. But you see, you just realize that you're calm. But the only thing my moringa will do, it will dehydrate you. You feel that your tongue is so dry, so you take more water. That takes me to water. I brought my bottle here again for water. The quantity of water we need to take. You know your water has to be clean, odorless, colorless, characteristics, yes. But what quantity do I need as a human being to live healthy? You know you want to live long. So this is 75 cl bottle. I need times 4 of this minimum in a day. So anytime I'm stepping out of my home, I should have 4 of this in my car or in my bag or wherever I'm going to. And I sip away during the day. By the time I'm coming back home, I should have finished this 4. That means outside my home, I've consumed 3 liters minimum. By the time I get back home, anything I take will be extra. That means my body is well hydrated. And there's so many symptoms that you say you are sick and you're not sick, it's just dehydration. For instance, when you have this crazy headache, the next thing we say to you, take a glass of water. If it's dehydration, you'll be calm.
I begin to realize that for many years, many of us have been abusing our bodies. And so I hope, viewers, that you have learned a lot from this episode. Please get in touch with her if you want her to do a diet for you. And also go to the market, get your carrots, get your grapefruit, get your
garlic, moringa, and also.
And moringa.
Once they get in touch with me, I sure will get.
I didn't know that our garlic was
oh yeah,
number
one. Yes.
Number one.
Yes.
So viewers, it's been a pleasure to bring Monisola to you to be able to just give you a proper perspective on your diet and lifestyle. So thank you very much for coming to be with us on The Heart Matter.
Thank you.
It's been so wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Still talking about longevity, we have another guest with us, Juliet Nnamdi-Uzoezie. Now, her area of specialty is how we can do the things that most people call naughty things. Eat the naughty things, confectionery and cakes, without eating the naughty side of them. Okay, so Juliet, what is it that you can do to help us with longevity?
Okay, first of all, I would like to quote from Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 5. King Solomon was saying, he said, sustain me with cakes of raisin. And he said, refresh me with apples, for I'm lovesick. So I see cakes as soul food. You know, it has its place in our lives, and for us to actually live long, we also need to look at things that are not just abstaining from certain things, but also things that can, you know, kind of pump the soul and make you feel good. What I just try to do is look at those food products that might cause problems. For example, people who have celiac diseases, they're gluten intolerant, they can't use regular flour. So there's a flour that's naturally occurring. It's called a teff. If you use teff flour, no gluten, and it still has a property like regular flour. So things like that we use to bake certain cakes if you have that problem. But for those who are just normal, regular people who don't have health issues, I always say, you know, be moderate in what you do. We have the eggless cakes that we can bake without eggs. We have those that we use unsaturated oils like sunflower oil, canola oil to replace butter. You know, but you know, butter has flavor too as well. So you can't just say, dunk the butter and just go for the oils. So we do it like mix match, kind of play it safe, try and, you know, kind of be intelligent with how you proportion the recipes and ingredients. And that's what we do.
Okay, and sugar?
Yes, okay, now let me talk about sugar, because sugar has just gotten this very bad name. I would say that sugar is made from sugarcane, which is naturally occurring. And table sugar goes through like 4 stages of refinements. So by the time it gets to table sugar, it becomes very unhealthy because it doesn't have any potassium, calcium, which natural sugars come with in sugarcane. Now, table sugar is made up of 60% sugarcane and 40% sugar beets. These are naturally occurring that have ingredients in them. But by the time you take out the molasses, which gives it that brown color, you take that out, you now refine sugar to make it white. You've taken out everything that's, you know, the body needs from the sugar. And so you now become deficient in the kind of sugars that your body needs. So we have what they call the hypoglycemia. My dad is hyperglycemic because he didn't have enough, he has too much sugar in his system. So he had to like cut his sugar intake. And I have a friend who's hypoglycemic. She didn't even have enough sugar, you know, levels in her blood plasma. So she had to, you know, kind of like take a lot of sugary stuff to make up for the insulin that she didn't really have. So for me, if your molarity is more than 11.1, you are hyperglycemic, and if it's less than that, you are hypoglycemic. So you need to understand your body. You need to know the numbers, you need to know how to crunch it, to know what's good for you. So when you're ordering a cake, you also have to ask yourself, if you're a sweet tooth, ask yourself, what exactly do you want this cake for? Is it a birthday, so don't eat so much? Because even your eba, amala, and all that stuff has a lot of calories in it, so a slice of cake won't kill you.
And does it still taste as nice?
Fabulous. As a matter of fact, let me give you a few tips. If you're trying to avoid butter, for example, and you don't want to still lose out on the flavor, things like buttermilk, which is made up of skim milk and lime juice, it still gives you that flavor, that texture, and, you know, good shelf life. So we look at products that can mimic, you know, the regular flour, sugar, butter, eggs, and replace it.
So, it's been a pleasure bringing the heart of the matter to you on behalf of Omilola and myself. We say thank you for watching. We say thank you very much, Juliet, for being a part of the heart of the matter. We'll be back again next week with another episode of the Heart of the Matter. Until then, stay blessed.